What the Heck Do I Know presents PM Update with Leah and Mia. And now your host, Leah. Hello and welcome to What the Heck Do I Know PM Update. I'm Leah. Our top stories tonight in our Target Ambition segment. Leonard Bernstein is quoted as saying, "To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time." Find out how a free-spirited and spur-of-the-moment type young woman used PM planning processes to get the salary she needed in her first job after college, setting herself up to achieve great things. And in order to define what great things mean to you, we will also look at the definition of success. What does success mean to you, and how to set goals to get you there? Find out all the details on these stories in our Target Ambition segment of PM Update when we come back, so please stay tuned. I really enjoy making these videos, and if you get value out of them or just enjoy watching them, please hit like, subscribe, and feel free to leave me a comment. Welcome back. In part one tonight, Mia has the story of a young woman who successfully negotiated a new job salary, and here's how she did it. Kaylee Collenbach is a recent university graduate who has been job hunting for a while and finally landed her dream job. I talked to her about her experience and how she prepared for the final negotiation. Kaylee describes herself as a free spirit. She is upbeat, fun-loving, has a spirit of adventure, and is a bit of a risk taker. Going into the professional job market, she thought back on impulsive decisions she had made in the past, especially the time she almost ended up doing door-to-door sales. This time, she decided to do things a little different. Her mother recommended that she watch Meg Jay's TED Talk titled, "Why 30 is Not the New 20." And after watching, Kaylee realized how important it was not to take such a casual attitude towards this next step in her life. This is Kaylee's initiation phase. Kaylee still lives with her parents, so she has a bit of a safety net. Her parents are supportive of her planned approach to job hunting, but she really wants to be on her own, especially since her parents have their house for sale so they can downsize. She has a job as a waitress, but doesn't make enough to afford rent on her own, and it isn't what she went to school to do. To gather data for planning, Kaylee talked to her friends who have recently gone out on their own about their experiences and what kind of expenses they had. She wanted to get an idea of what it was really going to take for her to do the same. When she moves out, things that her parents have been paying for will become her responsibility, so she wants to make sure that the salary at her new job can cover all of the new expenses. She weighed the pros and cons of roommate versus really on her own. In the end, Kaylee decided that a roommate was probably a good idea to reduce costs. She could always make changes after her first lease was up. Kaylee calculated her monthly expenses to be about $1,500 for rent on a 2-bedroom, $500 for utilities, $200 for transportation, gas and insurance, $250 for her student loan payment, and $140 for food. She also wants to save 10% of her net income and have at least $200 for discretionary spending each month. With a roommate, the rent and utilities would be split, so her research indicates she needs to make around $2,000 a month. Kaylee also did research to know her worth in the local job market. She checked a couple of different websites to find out what someone with her experience and skills should be making in her location. When Kaylee started the execution phase and first started getting calls for interviews, she got really excited, and then really bummed out when no offers followed. She practiced interviewing with friends and family to increase her confidence level at real interviews. After 4 months, when she got her first offer, she got even more bummed when it was too low and they did not accept her counter number. Her parents encouraged her to keep working at it and told her she had made the right decision. She already had a job that wouldn't cover all of her expenses, so there was no point in accepting a different one. They knew her expectations were realistic based on the research she had done. When Kaylee was invited for an interview at the WHY company, she could tell immediately that this was the one she wanted. She really seemed to click with the interviewers, the company seemed aligned with her goals, and there were opportunities within the company to go where she wanted with her career. A week later, Kaylee did get an offer from them. It was close to what her minimum was, but still a bit under it. She really didn't want to risk losing the offer, but she also wanted to be true to herself, so she asked if they would consider a $2,200 a month salary. She thought that if they proposed a compromise, she would still be able to follow her plan. To her surprise, the company agreed to her salary proposal. After her first month, she is still happy at WHY Company. She credits her success on researching her needs and planning out her limits ahead of time before jumping headfirst into a job, apartment, and a new reality. Thank you, Mia, for that inspiring story. Great job for Kaylee, and we wish her the best of luck in her new career. When we come back, Mia talks about the definition of success. More on being the best version of you on Target Ambition when we come back. Welcome back. Lots of people talk about success or being successful, but what does it really mean to be successful? How do you measure it? And even more importantly, how do you get there? Mia has this story. Everyone wants to be successful, right? Well, what does that mean? The simple definition of success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. But most people use the term being successful to mean having achieved fame, wealth, or social status, which is vastly different and doesn't hold true for many of us. I researched this topic and then compared this research to some real-life experiences I will share with you. Dr. Cherie Carter Scott covers this topic extensively in a book I highly recommend called If Success is a Game, These Are the Rules. And her first point in the book is that success or being successful is unique to every person. But we all do seem to want the same intangible thing, a sense of fulfillment. She believes the word success is normally measured by external factors, and fulfillment is assessed internally. Tony Robbins defines success as doing what you want to do, when you want, where you want, and with whom you want, as much as you want. Many other famous and outwardly successful people define success in terms of how many times they failed and yet kept going, or in terms not of money or fame, but in service to others. Life coach Dora Drake believes that most non-famous people want to be successful so they can feel fulfilled. In other words, they want the money and other outward trappings of success as a means to do what they really want to do. Whether what you want to do is help others, make the world a better place, travel, or work on a hobby activity, the key to getting there is to figure out what level of outward success you need to achieve the inward fulfillment. Or put another way, once you figure out what you want your life to look like, you can build a plan to finance and create it. So how do you figure out what will fulfill you? Or what level of success you want in life? There are lots of ways to do this. Google can give you many examples, so just find one that works for you. In general, though, writing down your values, things you enjoy doing, examples of people you respect or think of as successful helps. You can also write down things you would like to have or be able to do when you become successful. Writing it all down gives you a better picture than just visualizing it in your head because it's easier to spot patterns or things they have in common. Dora says once you know what your future life should look like, then you can meet with a financial planner and put together a plan to fund it. Being successful and fulfilled is an inherently long-term goal for most people. And honestly, if it didn't take a while to accomplish, we would very likely move on to something else to feel fulfilled or successful after a while. Because of the length of time it takes to reach a goal this big, it is easy to lose sight of it and get sidetracked by life. That's why it's important to write it down and have a plan, and to set interim goals that will help you along the way. Most of Dora's clients are working towards a success and fulfillment goal of early retirement. They want to have the time and financial security to do things they really love. One couple wants to rescue animals, one man wants to paint, and another woman wants to learn to bake like a professional. While they all may need to save aggressively and wait for early retirement to do these things full time, they can all work towards their dreams now in their spare time. And a financial advisor or planner can help them initiate, plan, execute, monitor and control, and finally close in on their financial goals to fund it all. The first couple could volunteer to foster animals. The man can take an art or painting classes at the local community college, and the woman could take low-cost courses on cake decorating normally offered at the local craft stores. In Dora's case, she has a long list of things she wants to accomplish as she goes through life. She already loves what she does and doesn't really expect to retire from doing it. Dora works 9 months out of the year and spends 3 months working on her list, one thing at a time. Last year, she learned how to build a foundation and frame a house. This year, she is going to get her private pilot license. Next year, she is deciding between survival training and learning how to make fabric. Dora needs to make sure that she earns enough in the 9 months that she does work to fund her life and her special activities in the 3 months she isn't working. What if your success or fulfillment plan is a true lifetime achievement, though? Well, then you might need to do less financial planning and more hard work or study earlier in life. The key to it all is figuring out what you want and doing what you need to do to make it happen, whatever it is. In either case, setting shorter incremental goals that will eventually get you closer to the big thing is what's going to get you there. Back to you, Leah. That was a lot of great information, Mia. I know I'm going to be working on my lifetime goals this weekend after hearing that. Now that's all for PM Update with Leah and Mia and our Target Ambition segment for this week. Thank you for watching and see you next time on What the Heck Do I Know and our next episode of PM Update. Good night. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I love seeing the comments too.